Alright, so we're here for race 2 of the night, the second 25-minute race. This one's going to have a lot more action than race 1, and it's going to happen immediately. So I'm starting 6th, which is not as high as I had hoped to qualify, since in our league the first 3 finishers of race 1 don't qualify in race 2, so I would have hoped to be on the front row. But you're going to see here an incident happens right in front of me with Skunkle, losing it in the first turn. I think he got caught up with a couple other drivers, so I immediately take a little bit of damage and drop a lot of positions from 6th place to, there's always a little glitch with the positions, so that 19th, I don't know if that was accurate, but I come out here trying to rejoin as safe as possible. I think I come out to about 10th place maybe? 12th place? Somewhere around there. So really unfortunate to be starting off 6th and to already lose places down to 11th or 12th, and then also take a little damage. I tried my best to join back safely, which I was successful, and didn't lose more positions. But here I'm going to be behind Robo for a little bit, kind of in the middle of the pack, in 11th position. So I guess at this point you kind of switch your mindset of, okay, well, if I was in 6th, maybe I'd be competing for top 5, but now I'm in 11th, so let's just keep it clean and try to get as many points as we can get. So I'm going to settle in here behind Robo and a real agent and try to shake off that incident from the first lap. Always unfortunate, but could have been a lot worse. Could have taken more damage. Could have had to pit for damage. Could have been a lot worse. Not Robo, but Reels in the Porsche, which is a hard car to handle, and I think loses the rear end a little bit there. And the Porsche really punishes you. I was going to try to take it up the inside on the turn there, but Reel lost the rear end of that Porsche. There's so much weight on the rear end of those Porsches that once you start to lose the rear end, the momentum spins you around, which is one of the reasons why I didn't choose the Porsche for my car during the season, even though I did like it a lot when I was practicing with it. So now I'm in 10th place, behind the panda colored Honda NSX there, and Robo seems to lose it, and then rejoins. Luckily, I kind of saw that coming, and I saw that happening, so I was able to be quick on the brakes to avoid an accident. Robo did apologize on the mic. I don't think he was trying to rejoin the track that way. I think it was just he was spinning out, and there's nothing he could really do. And the momentum of the car brought him right back on track in front of me. So it says I'm up to 8th place now. I think maybe a couple people pitted, or maybe there was an accident that I just missed and wasn't paying attention to. But I think it's people in the pits, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm feeling maybe a tiny bit faster than Robo here. Like I could maybe try to make a move, but then I also have Johnny's Fingers up here in the Lamborghini behind me. So a lot of action here early in the race. A lot of times early in these races, I try to avoid traffic as much as possible, whether that be an early pit stop because we do have a mandatory pit. And Johnny Fingers almost gets into the rear end of me there, but we just managed to avoid any contact. But that starts to make me feel really nervous. I'm paying a lot of attention to what's in my mirrors, and so I decide, you know what, it's probably a good time. Let's go in. Let's take our mandatory pit. And so we come out of the pits here in 15th place. I did stall the car coming out of the pits, which cost me probably, a few extra seconds of time. But now I got a lot of open track, so it's time to put our head down, find a rhythm, and see what we can do here. The race has already not gone my way early, so let's just have fun and let's make the most out of what we have in front of us. And really, I'm not feeling confident at this track anyways, like I said in the previous video. So we move a little bit forward in time. There is a pack of drivers in front of me, Sailor, and some others, and so I'm catching them slowly, catching up to their pack. So now I start making a lot of mistakes. As I watch this video back, there's just, I don't know if I was getting tired and not paying attention, because these races do go fairly late in the night for the East Coast. So I make a few mistakes, like the one you just saw where I completely went wide, went off the track, and was slowed down by the sausage curves. You'll see that a few more times throughout this video. So again, like I said, slowly catching up to Sailor, who's also in a Ferrari as well. This is going to be a big Ferrari battle here in a little bit for the middle of the pack. Because you can see Skunko behind me on the relative times. There is also in a Ferrari. He's my team line partner in crime. So now we see I go wide again, take the sausage curves, really slows me down, and then Skunko gets a good run out of that turn, and Skunko, really aggressive but also super clean, makes a pass right there. Perfect opportunity that he took right there, and he did it cleanly, and I gave him the space because I knew he was going to get that move cleanly. So now we got two lime Ferraris. We got his little chrome lime Ferrari and my matte lime Ferrari. And right here, Skunko brakes a little earlier than I expected, but definitely not his fault. I should have, with these cars that rely on a lot of downforce, it's not really great to follow that close behind another car, because you need the downforce for braking, you need the downforce for turning, and so I'm just following way too close right there, and Skunko brakes a little before I anticipated, and I have to make a move to avoid him. I lose some time, but I do feel really, really glad that I was able to avoid any major incident there. I was able to stay clean, avoid any further damage to my car, because remember from earlier in the race I'm still running with light damage. And again, the same turn. It's like the third time I've done that, where I go super wide at that turn and take the sausage curves and just get slowed down. So I'm trying to get my brain to focus on what I'm doing, but I'm definitely making a lot of mistakes that I did not make in race 1, making a lot of mistakes that I don't normally make. Sitting here in 12th place, knowing it's not going to be a super high finish, but trying to maximize the amount of points I get. And we are going to have a really fun, so while this race was not the best points-wise, things were unlucky. I do get to have a really fun battle here with Skunkle and Sailor. That was quite enjoyable. And sometimes those are the type of things that you really need to enjoy when a race isn't going your way. Just enjoy those little battles that you have. Enjoy the challenge of like fighting it out in the mid-pack. So I think Skunkle and Sailor lightly touch each other and come together there. I'm able to get past Sailor, and again, the same turn I go wide. I think it was more evasive that time. And I'm side by side with Skunkle, and we're going to now battle it out for the next few laps. So a little unfortunate there for Sailor to lose out, but I think it was, from what I could tell, mostly a racing incident. And then Sailor looks like he's a little too late on the brakes there, and falls back a little more. And now it's just the two Ferraris. Now, I learned from my mistake earlier. I'm giving Skunkle a little more space here. I'm letting off the gas a little early because I don't want to get too close and run into the rear end. I'm not 100% sure where he was going to brake there, so played it safe. And I'm staying with him. I think sometimes it's better to, instead of trying to beat him on the brakes, just try to get a cleaner run out of a corner and try to catch him on the straights. Seems to be the strategy that works better for me more often than not. And I get into more trouble and it just feels more dangerous and risky to try to beat people on the brakes and to follow close behind them, at least for me. As you can see, it kind of caught Sailor out there, almost ran into the rear end of me. And now Skunkle starts to pull away. I still have a little light damage from that incident on lap 1. Not sure if Skunkle has any damage, but Skunkle definitely starts pulling away from me and is doing a great job of staying consistent, staying on pace, defending the position there. So I got about 3 minutes left of the race. Most of the people in front of me, it looks like, have taken their pit stop. So it looks like this might be the position we end in this league. The top 20 get points. So I am in the points right now. Again, a silly mistake right there. Cut the corner way too much and got, jostled by the sausage curbs, which then caused me to lose grip and go wide. Just a lot of mistakes, not my best driving, that is for sure. Going wide again, look at that. So many mistakes. Luckily, after lap 1, my expectations were definitely lowered to where these mistakes were not frustrating me as much as they would have normally. We can see I'm down to 10th place now, so I think I passed somebody in the pits. But again, if you look on the left, pretty much everybody's in green, everybody's taking their pit stops, so Now it looks like 10th is going to be the place that we finish. Skunkel here starts pulling away. I'm going to fast forward because the last couple laps is just Skunkel slowly pulling away from me. Nothing I can do to catch him. He's got more pace than me at this track. He fades off into the distance. But I also don't have any threat from behind me in 11th place, so we can just bring this car home for a 10th place finish, which, to be honest, starting at 6th, 10th place finish is a little frustrating, but considering what happened on lap 1 and dropping down to like 13th, 14th, whatever it was, you know, we can't really complain with the 10th place finish. The amount of times that I went wide and went onto the sausages too, we really cannot be too upset. And we're able to bring home some points after this race. Definitely. Oh, and Skunk also lost it on that last turn to the point where I kind of almost caught him, which would have been hilarious. Then we bump into him as we go off. After this race, I realized, you know, that in the point standing, I could have been close to 3rd this season, but I missed round 3, I think it was, because I was sick. That was a 1-hour double points race at Spa that I missed out on. But this night, we got 4th place in race 1, and then we got 10th place in race 2. So not terrible. Definitely could have been better, but also obviously could have been worse as well. So really fun. Next week is the last week of this season. Going to be at the Nürburgring. Really excited to close out. Excuse me, to close out on a really fun track, the Nürburgring. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see ya.